IVM.
Hello. How is everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of the Positively Unlimited podcast. With all the DMs that I've been receiving, I know that the work-life balance series is really hitting home for some of you. Well, all your messages, those are what inspired me to pick today's topic. We're on the letter Q. And what I'm going to be talking about is when to quit. Yes, Q for quit. Now, if some of you all are wondering, why in the world am I talking about leaving a job or quitting a job, when as a coach, maybe I should be talking to you about sticking around and making the most of it. But it's not that simple, is it? Now, here's the mistake that a lot of us make, or here's I don't know what you call it. Maybe it's a faulty belief system. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's conditioning. But when it comes to our jobs, our sense of loyalty is completely skewed. If you've been listening to the previous episodes of this particular series, you know that I keep talking about how you are filling up your sense of self with your job, or then how you are pretending that your company will shut down or no work will ever happen if you don't exist in this organization. And I know that I have told you over and over again in many different episodes that you need to step down from that pedestal. You need to come back on ground. You need to ground your energies. Your organization and its existence and its ability to make profit does not revolve only around you. That's just you being entitled, you coming from a space of your ego and somewhere trying to boost up your sense of self because you're otherwise not able to do so. Circumstances in your current reality are possibly pulling you down. But here's the other issue that happens when we have that kind of a faulty notion about ourselves and our jobs. We start to think that we cannot quit. We start to do that by questioning our sense of loyalty. Well, I want you to go back to episode number 183 and listen to the perspectives that I share about goals and how you need to realign your goals and your company's goals. How you need to not misinterpret the two or interchange the two or think that the two are directly connected or think that the two of them are tied in some sort of a directly proportionate way or equal way. Think about what your goal or your ambition is and think about whether or not your current job, your current role is contributing to your journey towards that goal, towards fulfilling your ambition. The answer to this question is the deciding factor. Whether you are going to continue in this company and continue in this job must first and foremost be based upon whether this job, whether this company is contributing to your journey towards your goals and your ambitions. Let me also make this clear right now. It's not that your company is supposed to lift you up and serve everything on a platter or roll out a red carpet that will take you straight towards your goals. No, that's not what it's supposed to do. But everything that you are doing in this job, in this organization, it should be in a direction that is taking you towards success and achievement of your personal goals and your ambitions. So think about that. Come from this perspective of what is it that I want to achieve in my career and how much is this job and this company contributing to that. Now, a company, a job, an organization, a role contributes to your success in a few different ways. One is the paycheck. So what is your money goal when it comes to your career and, your ambitions? The current job, is it contributing to getting you to that money goal? Are you already at a level where it is satisfying the money aspect of your goal and ambition? Number 2 is designation, recognition, acknowledgement. Are you getting all of that in a manner that is in sync with what you want to experience, with what your career is all about? And number 3, all the desires that this career is supposed to fulfill, whether it is buying a house, whether it is living a certain lifestyle, whether it is traveling for work, Whether it is living in another country and working there, whatever may be your desires, is this company, is this job, is this organization able to fulfill those? That for many of y'all, it may be a case of your current job fulfilling some needs and some wants or some aspects of your goals and ambition and not all. And that's fine, because it all also depends on how long have you been working, what is your age, what work experience you have, and how far along are you in your career path. If your current job is not giving you the kind of money that you should be earning right now, given your work experience and given where you want to go in terms of your ambitions, if it's not giving you what you need and want in terms of designation, recognition, validation, fame, whatever you may call it, and if it is not aligned or it's taking you in a completely different direction from where you would like to go when you look at your ambitions, then you need to quit. Then you need to figure out what is the actual job or industry or organization or company that you should actually be working in or being present in. Your job, it is a vehicle through which you will fulfill certain desires and certain needs and wants. And I know I've used the word ambition only about 500 times in this episode, but yes, your work is the vehicle through which you will fulfill your ambitions and live it. So be fair when you sit down to analyze what exactly should you be getting from this job, from this company and organization, compared to, with regards to whatever your goals and ambitions for life are. If you want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine and you are not in an industry that Forbes is interested in, then either you need to give up that desire or you need to give up your job. That's what I mean by you need to start aligning that. So if you are thinking about quitting your job, please understand it is not just a question of whether you should be sticking around with a company for 30 or 40 years. First and foremost, please understand, what do you want to achieve in your work life? What is the life that you want to build upon your career? This job, this role, it is a means to what end? And based on these, you decide what your next steps will be. I know that in our current times, a lot of us are very insecure about our jobs. You need to understand then that you are insecure because the first and foremost reason to hold on to a job for you is to earn an income, is to pay your bills. So even after you answer the questions that I have raised in this episode, you may realize that this is not really a time to quit. And that is absolutely fine. Also, just because you answer these questions and you realize that, I'm way off mark and I'm going in a direction that is totally not where I want to be going, you don't have to go and throw in your resignation letter tomorrow. This only means that you need to think of a concrete plan. You need to seek help, maybe from a life coach or a friend or somebody who can advise you to change the current trajectory of your work life and how your career is rolling out. I'll also tell you another thing. When it comes to switching jobs and switching roles, for a lot of us, we reach a certain level where we realize that the current field or industry that we are in isn't doing much for us. In that scenario, you need to first do research on what is your next level. What would you like your next direction to be? And then based on that, you need to go back and rewrite your entire CV. Everything needs to be repackaged. All your strong points and your experience, well, you need to acknowledge all of it. And you need to steer that piece of paper in a very specific direction. A good way to redirect your career path if you realize that you are not exactly where you want to be would be to reach out to a business coach, a life coach, and get yourself some kind of personal coaching or mentoring sessions. A lot of your organizations, the HR department, can help you out with regards to this. And if you are in one of those organizations that's big on employee engagement and likes to invest in their employees, then go have a conversation to figure out what options they have in terms of seeking help. So on this note, I'm going to head out from here, but stay tuned for the next episode that's going to be coming up. I'm recording R for responsibilities next. As for the previous episodes, you can listen to all of them on the IVM Podcast app and website. And I'm going to be reaching 200 episodes very soon. It's kind of surreal. But if you would like to connect with us, we're on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is IVM Podcasts. And if you would like to connect with me, like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I love reading your DMs. You can message me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Siet and Cred. We really appreciate the support. It is what makes this possible. So it was a fun week on Cyrus Says. We had guests like Dolly Singh, we had Guneet Monga, we had Kamya Jani of Curry Tales, and Cock and Bull as we always did. Do check it out. I think you'll really enjoy that. On Paisa Vaisa, we crossed 300 episodes and Anupam was joined by Akhil Handa, the digital head of Bank of Baroda. All Things Policy discussed topics like the 100 years of China's Communist Party, the Facebook versus the Government of India case, and the evolution of Indian science. On the Wire Talk, Siddharth Bhatia was joined by Gautam Bhatia to discuss the Central Vista project and why it's attracting so much flack. Sadaf and Archit are back on the Non-Curry podcast, and this time they raise the temperatures as they discuss the beloved spice mirchi. On the Millennial Athlete, this week Tanvi and Shlok speak to Sarita Chauri, a visually impaired judoist. And finally, I want to ask you all to give a listen to the Triangle Offense. Anybody who has heard me talk on a podcast knows I can't shut up about basketball, and these guys know more about it than I do. So if you enjoy basketball, do check this out. Nishant and Monish do an excellent job with this show. I was one of their guests a few months ago, which is how I met them and tried to convince them to come onto the network, and they're finally here. So definitely do check this out. Show's available on all major podcasting platforms, but they also have a daily YouTube episode, which is available on the IVM Podcast channel. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Hi, I'm Zarina Poonawalla, host of the Empowering Series podcast on the IVM network. I happen to be a peak performance coach and leadership coach by profession, and I'm here to share with you productivity tools, life-altering techniques, and real-life hacks to help you achieve your maximum potential in everything you do, your relationships, professions, careers. So tune in every Monday to unleash your inner power. Be safe, be well, be empowered.